Today I'm excited to walk you through the Skratch Attach 1.6 update, one of the biggest updates yet. This version adds full Rane One MKII support, new creative tools like multi-bank sample loading, cycling modes, a built-in metronome, and a ton of workflow and UI improvements. Let's jump right in. Multi-bank system for the looper and sampler modes. Each deck now gives you 4 banks of 8 pads. That's up to 32 loops or samples per deck. Use the parameter left and right buttons on your hardware to switch banks instantly. Each bank has its own color, so it's easy to stay organized visually. Multi-sample loading plus cycling modes. For now, this is only available when loading a folder of samples to a bank. Multi-sample loading. You can now load multiple variations of a sound to a single pad using a simple naming format like 1A_kick.wave, 1B_kick.wave, 1C_kick.wave. All samples with the same number load to the same pad, and the letters A, B, C define variations. This is an example of what a folder would look like with multiple samples loaded on each pad. Another great feature is the ability to cycle between samples in 2 modes. Sequential mode, which plays samples in order,
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And random mode, which picks a sample randomly each time you trigger the pad.
1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1.
To switch between them, hold a pad and press loop out for random mode or loop in for sequential mode. Choke groups and hybrid naming. We've also added choke groups. Just add _ch1, _ch2, etc. to your file names. For example, base C_ch1.wave and base E_ch1.wave are in the same choke group. Triggering one will stop the other so notes don't overlap and clash. Hybrid naming. You can combine multi-sample naming with choke group naming to build full sample packs featuring multiple layers and dynamic sound responses. Here's an example of a sample folder that takes advantage of both features working together. Pad and bank clearing. You can now clear pads or entire banks quickly. Works in both the loop player and sampler. To clear a pad, press and hold the back button, then tap the pad you want to clear. Pads flash white twice when cleared. To clear a whole bank, press and hold the back button, then tap the mode button. Pad Modes Settings page. There's a brand new Pad Modes page in the Settings menu for deeper customization. Live Looper, choose Post Fader Recording as default and/or set X10 mode as default. Platter Play, Scales, and Key Settings have moved here from the MIDI tab. Sample Trigger, toggle Thump Reduction to minimize pad hit noise. The software ducks certain frequencies when a pad is struck, minimizing a low-end thump amplified by the needle. EQ Kill Mode. EQ Kill turns your EQ knobs into full frequency kills. Turn any EQ band fully down to remove that frequency entirely, or drop all 3 to silence the deck completely. Toggle EQ Kill by pressing both pitch bend buttons, and the EQ labels turn red to show it's active. Also available in the Settings menu under Contours. Rane One MKII Support. Since there are onboard effects, we disabled the software effects for the MKII for now. Using the Mark II alone without our app to spin 45s had 2 major flaws. Number 1, you have to use the little joystick to change the deck you're tapping the tempo for. Number 2, you have to hold down Shift to use tap tempo. Needless to say, changing the tempo for each deck while holding Shift to tap is not ideal, unless you like doing pointless things and fiddling with your little joystick. The solution. Tap tempo is now mapped to both of the CFX buttons. Now you can tap either CFX button to sync the BPM across both decks. The MKII replaced the touch strip with buttons up top, so we added VU meters and pad gain feedback to those buttons. You can see the meters while playing music, and the 4th pad will light up red if there's peaking. The MKII uses redesigned contour knobs with higher resistance, eliminating the need to protect them with a shift lock feature. Adjustments to the contours are also visually represented in the secondary pads. Built-in metronome. The metronome is meant to route to the headphones only. This allows the user to create loops at specific tempos without the audience hearing the metronome. To turn on the metronome, press down on the deck 2 scroll/load knob. Notice the tap button in the UI pulses to the metronome, and the metronome sounds different on the first downbeat. The tap button also pulses red on the first downbeat for visual feedback. You can use the knob to adjust the beats per minute or use the tap button. The metronome gain can be adjusted in the audio page of the settings menu if you think it's too loud or too quiet. On the Mark I, you can adjust the level using the deck contour knob. Due to routing limitations, we had to implement a workaround on the Mark II. To hear the metronome in headphones, mute a deck and enable the cue for that channel. Then turn the metronome on. Unmuting the channel automatically mutes the metronome, preventing it from being heard through the main output. When the metronome is enabled, it changes how the live looper records the master pad. Press the master pad once to arm it. It'll turn yellow to show it's in standby. Trigger the pad anytime before the downbeat of the next bar. Recording will begin exactly on that downbeat. Record for as many bars as you'd like, then press the pad again anytime before the following downbeat to set the loop's endpoint. You now have a master loop perfectly synced to the metronome's tempo. Ready for layering additional loops or mixing in a beat or a cappella? UI enhancements. We've added a much-needed battery indicator for iOS showing full, medium, and low levels, plus a lightning bolt icon when your device is charging. In the Customize tab, there's now an option to display the pitch percentage with 2 decimal places, giving you more precise control when adjusting pitch. And for iPhone users, we've streamlined navigation by replacing the tabs with a drop-down menu for a cleaner, more compact interface. With the Mark II update, we've made several adjustments to match its new design, a few of which also carry over to the Mark I. First, individual pad volume control for both the sampler and looper is now handled using the pitch bend buttons. The last pad you hit determines which pad's volume is being adjusted. The pad being affected will flash white. Visual feedback for the level is displayed on the touch strip or in the secondary pad area. Second, X10 mode is now activated by pressing Shift plus Loop in. That wraps up this update. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters for helping make these updates possible. Special thanks to Brent for suggesting the EQ Kill feature and the new 2 decimal pitch percentage view. Both great additions. And big thanks to Jeremy for testing and reporting key bugs that helped us tighten things up for this release. We appreciate all your feedback and support. Stay tuned for more updates and new features coming soon.
Skratch Attach.